What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Street Credit, a place where broke college students don't exist. And I first want to just say thank you. I love you because I see each and every single last one of y'all that are watching the videos consistently. Thank you guys for the messages that you guys are actually implementing the strategies and are seeing results, and you're not letting anything be of an excuse. So that actually talks about what we're going to talk about today. Don't let your excuses excuse you from executing. Let's dive in. All right, y'all. So can we be transparent here? Because I think we done built enough relationship as little sis of mine and little bro of mine where we can be honest and transparent. We have a lot of ugly thoughts and feelings surrounding money and our relationship with money that didn't originally belong to us. Because see, when we were born, we didn't know. We thought life was great as a kid. Before the traumas, before the negative situations, we were happy beings. We had no clue of the stressors of the world. But as we grew up and in various environments and have had to deal with a lot of things that shaped us into who we are today, we then began to focus on those things and those adopted beliefs that we heard our parents say or our grandparents say, or even friends of the family, whomever, right? So remember that our relationship with money started based on thoughts of others. So as we're adapting these strategies, I wanted to take some time away from strategy for a second to really dig into the mindset portion, because none of these strategies will matter if you don't believe that you're worthy. None of these strategies will matter if you don't begin to debunk and get rid of some of the negative beliefs and habits that we've had around money. And I can be very transparent to say is that I was raised by a single mom, and some of the things that I heard in my environment, even if it wasn't directly from her, even if it was from others around me, is that money was hard to come by, that it was a struggle, and that we had to pinch pennies, and that I had to go to college and university in order to make something of myself, that I had to minimize myself in various environments in order to be accepted. And I heard that in order to belong in these places, I had to minimize myself. And again, this didn't come directly from my mom. My mom has always believed in me and my dreams, but this came from a product of environment of people that I was around, the school system that I grew up in. And I know many of you can identify with this because I've heard many students say, "Oh, well, one day I may be able to do this. I hope I can have this, or I would like to do this, but I don't think it's possible being where I came from." What I'm here to tell you that it it is more than possible. And I get a little passionate when I talk about this because I understand what it was like as a college student on campus trying to find work study, knowing that, hey, if I don't do it, I don't want to bother my mom about it because I'm supposed to be up here getting an education, but I still want to be able to enjoy myself, and I still need to be able to put food in my body, but the food in the cafeteria just ain't doing it. I remember getting to seeing those tables around, and they're saying, "Hey, if you sign up for this account, we'll go ahead and give you a free t-shirt, some pizza, something." And as a hungry college student, I'm like, "Hey, you're giving me pizza in order for me to build, open an account and give me some free money at that? Heck yeah." But I didn't know that those things came with a cost. So then when I started to say, "Oh, I don't know how I'm afford this lifestyle," or "I was broke and man, we just trying to make it. I'm trying to get like you." When I began to start saying those statements, I was writing my future. And what I didn't realize is that when I had the present moments that I had, that is something that I could actually use to build my future, rather than looking at my circumstances as a place of where I'm stuck and I just have to continuously negatively talk about it because, oh man, it's bringing me relief. I didn't understand that the music that I was listening to that was encouraging poverty, encouraging me to look at my struggle and think that I was supposed to stay there. And I'm like, oh man, I'm just relating to the music. It was writing my future. So I'm telling you now that if there are certain beliefs that you have around money or a certain relationship or a certain, monitor your thoughts. Answer this question in the comments. What was the last thing that I said about money? Was it that I'm broke and that I couldn't afford it, or I have no clue how I'm gonna to meet my goals, or maybe this could happen for me one day? Or was I saying that, oh man, that looks good on them, I wish I could do that, but not me, not where I came from, not that couldn't happen for me? Was it those things that I was saying around money? And if that was the case, then I look at my current environment and, oh wow, I probably couldn't afford that because I said it. I didn't even open my brain pathways for a way to be able to attract the resources because I cut it off right at the source. I basically said what I couldn't do and attached negative experiences and negative belief systems around me and my money. Right? But the moment that I began to monitor my thought and expand things around me, right? Take advantage of the resources, free resources that were around me. If I would have never done those things, I never would have been where I am today and accomplished all the things that I've been able to accomplish today. I didn't start from the greatest of beginnings. I had a happy childhood, but money was something that I seen as a constant issue. So when I grew up as an adult, I modeled the exact things that I saw in childhood and wondered, why can't I get ahead? And that's the number one reason is, and it boils down to excuses. Don't let your excuses excuse you from executing. If it is something that you want to do, but your current circumstances or your current conditions don't allow for that to happen based on previous manifestations of how you felt in your previous behaviors and your previous relationship with money, if your current circumstances didn't afford you that, but it's something that you want to do, stop the cycle right now. And here's how you stop the cycle. Here's going to be the 3 steps or 3 tips that I can provide that will help you stop that cycle to not letting your excuses excuse you from executing. When you've identified something that it is that you want and you find yourself kind of going back to, I can't afford that. Cancel, like my coach would say. Cancel. How could I afford this? If I can't reach into my pocketbook today and I've made this acknowledgement in my head that I can't go in my pocketbook today and pull out my wallet and pay for it, how is it that I can afford something like this? And pay attention to what starts happening, right? Start asking that as the number one question. How can I afford this? How can I attract the resources that will allow me to experience this? Or how can I experience something like this at my current state until I can experience it at the space that I want to? That's the number one thing, is to ask yourself those type of questions when you see it's something that you want. Number 2, change your perspective of problems. Problems may come along to challenge you and to shape you or to bring out that grit in you so that you can actually fulfill the things that you want to do. So pivoting your perspective of a problem and turning it into an opportunity. Meaning, how can I grow from this? How can I learn from this? What is this here to teach me? What is this here to show me that I have within myself that will get me to my goals? Or who is someone that I can talk to or that I can have receive help from that can help me solve this problem? Who's the expert in this space? And what free resources do they have until I can afford those paying resources with them? So that's number 2, is pivoting your perspective of problems, turning them to opportunities to help you get where you want. Number 3 is going to be show gratitude, because a lot of times we have things within our direct vicinity. As you can see me, you're starting this journey with me. I needed somewhere to be able to record content to educate y'all. Well, I found the library. The library is free, and they have free studios sessions where you got the green screen. And I may not be able to crop out the green screen yet, but that doesn't stop the education. That doesn't stop the knowledge from going around. But that was a free resource that I could get to at the time. So check out your local libraries for things like that. They even have a section where you can record your stuff with the mic. They got the computer for editing. There are resources around you that can help you, but when you start asking questions versus making statements of what you can't do, the resources become available to you. So number one, once you get that desire, start asking questions that help bring the resources to you. Number two, stop looking at everything as a problem. Start instead, look at it as an opportunity to grow and to be creative and find a way to make things happen. In order to get to that high elite level that you want to go, you got to take advantage of the smaller things that will get you there, because how are you going to know how to enjoy up here when you don't even know what you like down here? How can you enjoy up here or know how to navigate up here if you haven't taken those resources that you have and make them into building blocks to get you up here to where you can record that process or recall that process and share it with someone else to be able to do the same thing? I hate when they say, oh, it's lonely at the top. It's not lonely at the top. It's only lonely at the top because you didn't create enough momentum and you didn't duplicate your process, or you didn't enjoy your journey enough to have others doing it with you. All right. So I hope this was helpful, because I promise you, when you start doing those things or when you start asking those questions, you put yourself in alignment with your highest self. The highest version of yourself, the most improved person of yourself, the one who has a great relationship with money. You got to kind of see that before you get there. The person that has a great relationship with money, the person that has certain behaviors, they look a certain way, they act a certain way. You got to come into alignment with that person. And a lot of times we can't get to our goals because we're so stuck in our current conditions. But when you realize that the current conditions are only a reflection of things that you talked about before, that you believed before, or where the lack of a good relationship was before, that's what current reality is. But if you want to shift that current reality, use the present moment to ask, well, what would my highest self do? What would billionaire Brit do? How would billionaire Brit respond? Who would she contact if there is an opportunity, the old problem, if there's an opportunity where we got to solve? When you start thinking of that and figuring out how you can operate with that in the current present moment, you become unstoppable. And your current conditions begin to take shape around you, giving you resources like me in this library, where I'm able to set up my phone on a tripod. They have all of the lights. They have the green screen. They have everything for me. All I had to do was show up and do what I can with what I had and allow more resources to come about. So, and as you stay tuned on this journey, because this ain't my first rodeo, okay? I done got people to the 700s, the 800 credit scores. We done gotten them $1 million within funding, been on Yahoo Finance. I've done some amazing things. And because of mistakes of my own that I get to share with you guys on this journey, you guys get to see me going from, and I did all of those things mainly by myself. I got help from a few people, but the mistake that I made was I tried to do it all of myself and I didn't have that system. But now that I'm building up with this system, you guys get to see it and I get to take you along on this journey and you guys get to implement too. So I know this was out of our normal credit education, but it was super important because in order to excel financially the way that you want to, you have to feel worthy. You have to adapt those habits. You have to have that mindset that is so unshakable, so unbreakable that nothing that's happening in your current conditions can stop you and take you away from your goals and your dreams. That way, when it's time to apply the financial strategies, it becomes a cakewalk. So I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.